The fight that had the entire world talking, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, was supposed to be a spectacle, a clash of generations, a moment that blurred the lines between sport and entertainment. But instead, it has spiraled into controversy, whispers of conspiracy, and outright accusations of foul play. When 58-year-old retired boxing legend Mike Tyson faced off against Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation turned boxer, the event seemed destined to draw headlines. What no one anticipated, though, was how quickly the spotlight on the fight would shift from its dramatic moments in the ring to a heated debate about whether it was all fake. Weeks after the fight, the drama refuses to die down. And in a move that raises more eyebrows than it settles, the event's promoter, Most Valuable Promotions, MVP, released a formal statement adamantly denying any allegations that the fight was rigged. They didn't just deny it, they called the accusations an insult to both fighters, painting the entire controversy as illogical and inane. But here's the thing, why would a promotion company feel the need to address such rumors weeks after the final bell? That question alone has left fans buzzing and skeptics sharpening their arguments. In the world of boxing, a sport often shrouded in drama and whispers of backroom dealings, it's almost an unspoken rule when a fight is undeniably great. The conversation is about the fighters, the punches, the grit, and the glory. But when the fight ends with a press release defending its authenticity weeks later, well, that tells an entirely different story. MVP's statement wasn't just a denial, it was a full-throated defense of Jake Paul, their star, and a clear attempt to reinforce his legitimacy as a boxer. But let's break this down. The fight featured Jake Paul, a 26-year-old athlete at his physical peak, squaring off against Mike Tyson, a 58-year-old retiree who, while a legend, is undeniably far removed from his prime. Tyson, whose name alone is synonymous with raw power and intimidation, hadn't fought in a professional match in years. And yet, the promotional material leading up to the fight sold the narrative of a fair and thrilling showdown. When Jake Paul emerged victorious, the result should have been unsurprising after all, age and endurance matter greatly in the ring. But it wasn't long before fans and critics began dissecting every punch, every movement, and every outcome. Online forums erupted with theories. Was Tyson holding back? Did Jake Paul get an easy win to boost his career? Was this fight, as some speculated, more of a staged spectacle than a genuine competition? These accusations gained so much traction that MVP felt compelled to address them publicly, declaring the mere idea of rigging as absurd and offensive. Their statement painted Jake Paul as a fighter who has faced skepticism and doubt from day one. According to MVP's co-founder Nakisa Bidarian, these allegations are nothing new for Paul. He described them as a backhanded compliment, a sign that Jake's achievements continue to exceed expectations to the point where critics can't believe they're real. Bidarian argued that this relentless doubt only fuels Paul's drive to work harder and achieve greater success. It was a slick piece of damage control, but it didn't stop the speculation. Critics were quick to fire back. To them, the match's outcome was suspiciously convenient for everyone involved. Jake Paul got another win under his belt, further cementing his reputation as a marketable figure in boxing. MVP kept their star relevant, ensuring future pay-per-view buys. And Mike Tyson? He earned a massive payday for stepping into the ring, regardless of the outcome. From a purely business perspective, a close but decisive Jake Paul victory was the ideal result. But from a fan's perspective, this kind of narrative manipulation undermines the essence of the sport. Even those who don't believe the fight was outright rigged find it hard to ignore the optics. On one side you have Jake Paul, a man 3 decades younger, with a career built on controversy, spectacle, and viral moments. On the other you have Tyson, a boxing legend but also a man eligible for senior citizen benefits. Critics argue that this fight wasn't designed to test either fighter's skills but to draw attention, sell tickets, and generate headlines. And in that sense, it succeeded. But let's not forget what this means for Jake Paul. Love him or hate him, he thrives on controversy. His brand is built on polarizing the audience, ensuring his name stays on everyone's lips, whether they're praising him or tearing him down. For Paul and his backers, there's no such thing as bad press. In fact, this entire situation may have played right into their hands. The more people talk about whether the fight was real, the more people pay attention to Jake Paul. And as MVP's statement made clear, Paul isn't slowing down. He's already gearing up for his next fight, another carefully crafted event that's sure to dominate headlines. The real question is, does this controversy hurt boxing as a sport? For purists, it's a bitter pill to swallow. The idea that matches could be reduced to entertainment spectacles, with outcomes that seem predetermined, undermines the integrity of boxing. But for casual fans and younger audiences, who tune in more for the personalities than the sport itself, it's all part of the show. Jake Paul isn't trying to appeal to boxing traditionalists, he's carving out his own niche, one viral moment at a time. And what about Tyson? Some fans believe he was genuinely trying his best, while others argue he may have taken a backseat to let Paul shine. After all, Tyson's legacy is already cemented, he has nothing to prove. But the fight has inevitably added a layer of scrutiny to his name, with some wondering why a legend of his caliber would agree to a fight that seemed so mismatched on paper. At the end of the day, the truth about whether the fight was rigged or not might never be fully known. But that's almost beside the point now. The narrative has taken on a life of its own, and for Jake Paul, that's all that matters. As long as people are talking, arguing, speculating, debating, he wins. MVP's statement might have been intended to squash the rumors, but in reality, it's only added fuel to the fire. So, was the fight rigged? Or was it simply a case of a younger, stronger fighter overwhelming a man past his prime? The answer might depend on who you ask. But one thing is clear, in the world of Jake Paul, controversy isn't a problem. It's the entire game plan. And as fans continue to dissect the fight, break down every moment, and argue over what really happened, Jake Paul is already looking ahead, gearing up for the next chapter of his career. Because in this game, the only thing that matters is staying in the spotlight, and if nothing else, Jake Paul has mastered that art better than anyone.